Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host, Chris Tysus, and we're here to talk about YouTube and the partnership program and all that sort of YouTube stuff that most Nintendo fans probably don't know much about, but I'm going to explain to you a little more about it. Now, on Nintendo Ninja News, we do monetize our videos. We don't put any ads, but we put little ad bars underneath. You probably might see a few under me if you don't use ad block and things like that. Now, there has been some news coming from tubefiller.com about changes to the YouTube partner program. Now, essentially, to put it in simple words, the new eligibilities means that you would need to get 4,000 hours of watch time within the last year and have about 1,000 subscribers. Now, the old rules was that you needed to have 10,000 lifetime views. Now, we have about nearly 210,000 views, which is really, really great for Nintendo News, but this new system makes it much, much harder, which is very difficult. Now, to be honest, Nintendo Ninja News is probably meeting about half of those requirements. We're about 400 subs away from 1,000, and we get probably about 1,800 hours of watch time. Now, the watch time is low because you know how our channel operates. 1 minute news bulletin videos, quick, short. We don't like to sit there and talk 10 minutes about a news piece that could be explained in a couple minutes. People are time poor. You can flip out your phone and watch a couple videos of me talk about the latest news of Nintendo without watching it for 20, 30 minutes. We like to cut through the fat and get to the point. And I think in the world of social media and people trying to grab your attention, I think that might be the way, that's the way that I operate and that I enjoy. Now, YouTube says it's to weed out bad actors, emphasizing factors like engagement time and community subscribers. Raising restrictions will also mean more monetization opportunities for a smaller pool of qualifying channels, aka the bigger YouTubers. Now, the other piece of news due to, yes, Logan Paul, the fuckwit, who decided to film a dead body because obviously at no point he thought that was a bad idea. Now, basically, the other part is that the company's promise will be to have 10,000 human beings working to manually check things and stuff like that, which probably should have been done years ago. Now, suddenly the light bulb's gone on their head and now they're doing it. So the people who only own it earn a couple $100 from it, your small YouTubers and things like that. Where do you think those small pools of money is going to go? Let's just say you earn $100 per year. Where do you think that money is going to go? It's probably going to go to help pay for these 10,000 people and help pull that money towards the bigger YouTubers. Now, I'm not particularly happy about it. I think that's unfair. It's the old case, and I think in this today's society, it's the poor getting poorer and the rich getting richer. And I don't think that's very fair at all. It's really a system set up to stop the complaints by the big YouTubers that the videos are getting demonetized and there's not enough checks and balances and things like that. And you would think as a company as big as Alphabet, who is the name that controls Google and everything else, should be able to find the money to do these manual checks. And the problem is, it just seems like the smaller YouTubers are getting screwed over while the bigger ones get to benefit from it. And now, and the other part of it, you know, when I'm having discussions in Facebook groups and that with other YouTubers, it's always this case of the bigger YouTubers always patting the smaller YouTubers on your head going, you know, if you just keep going at it, if if you just try hard enough, the views will just come. It will just come, you know, just work at it. If you love what you do, just keep going. And one day, maybe one day, you'll get there. And it's so fucking patronizing when you hear it from the bigger YouTubers who have, you know, 200,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers and things like that. And I don't like that type of stuff. It's really condescending, it's very patronizing, and it's very hard for smaller YouTubers to try to make and break. You know, especially me, who's in the genre of video games, because it's massively saturated. That's why Nintendo Ninja News does things differently. We try to do our reviews a little differently. We do different type of videos. Instead of doing a 10-minute video at a convention, we turn it into a big long movie so people can sit back and watch me go to a video game convention. I've had comments saying, it feels like I'm actually at the event because I sort of take it step by step. And to get those sort of patronizing comments really shows the lack of understanding between the big guys and the small guys, or the big girls and the smaller girls, when it comes to this sort of thing. And it really annoys me, and it really frustrates me that there's a real lack of understanding. For everyone who gets 100,000 subscribers, there's a whole bunch of us that will probably never quite get there. Even when you try to get advice from bigger YouTubers, they either don't respond to you or they give you generic stuff such as, how about you just do better in your thumbnails and don't forget to tag your videos and just like promote things better? Like these really generic, advice that doesn't really help you at all. And I almost feel like they're doing it on purpose, because why would you create competition for yourself if you can just give some generic advice? Now I think it's really, really annoying, and I think smaller YouTubers do need to speak up about this, because we don't have that much of a voice. We have a very small voice compared to these big YouTubers. And I think the Logan Paul scandal YouTube had to deal with because it was affecting their advertisers and other big YouTubers who were making such a big fuss. They were stamping their feet and they were carrying on about it. And they probably, I would say half of them didn't care that Logan Paul filmed a dead body. They were more worried about losing their ads. And I can understand why smaller YouTubers like myself are looking at options like Patreon and things like that. So your dedicated fans can give you $5 or $1 per month, because, trying to make money on YouTube is pretty hard at the moment. And it's just, and they say you just need to have more passion in your videos and all that sort of thing. Can't you see the passion? Can't you see the dedication I've put in? I've done reviews. I've done news videos at midnight. I've covered the E3 Expo here in Australia at 4, 5, 6 in the morning, trying to give you updates and news. And I think, I've done it all when it comes to Nintendo. I've interviewed some people, I've done review codes, I've reviewed games, I've gone out against Nintendo and some of the policies, the YouTube policies and the online services and things like that. I try to walk that balance between being a Nintendo fan and being a Nintendo critic, because I don't believe in kissing ass. When Nintendo fucks up, I'm going to call them out. If they do something really well, like the good sales of the Nintendo Switch, I will call them out on that and say, give them a pat on the back and go, you're doing a good fucking job, Nintendo. Keep up the good work, but please do fix up on your online services. And it just really gets annoying that this new policy is really only to keep the big YouTubers happy and to fuck us over, the small YouTubers. And I don't swear that much or get really passionate about huge things, but this is something that really does annoy me. And it really does upset me about these type of things. I don't know what the future of YouTube is going to be. No one knows. I don't think the CEO of YouTube has an idea what she's doing. I bet she just looks at the situation and goes, what the fuck of a job have I got myself into? It's a bit of a mess, YouTube, and I don't know what's going to happen. And it's really, really annoying. I work and research Nintendo. I make sure that when I post something or make a video that I try to get my facts right. I don't post rumors that much. When I do post a rumor about Nintendo or games or consoles or anything like that, I always say, take it with a grain of salt. Think logically. Does this sound right to you? Wait for the official news to come out to make sure that this is true or not. And this new policy really only works towards the bigger YouTubers. And no wonder why the bigger YouTubers seem to be quite happy. They're like, it's not too bad, this new idea, Manual checks, this is good for us. But it comes at the cost of the smaller YouTubers, who the only time the bigger YouTubers talk about us is to almost put a little bit of fear, saying, if they're coming out for us bigger YouTubers, they're going to come after you. They're going to come after you, and you're going to lose your money. You'll be gone. You know, and it's just, I don't know, this sounds like a half educated, half rant, but I think you've just got to understand there is a lot of work that smaller YouTubers put into, because we don't have the budget or the money that the bigger YouTubers have. We have jobs to attend to. Some of us have families. We can't just dedicate 30 hours a week on YouTube in the planning and the editing and coming up with ideas. We have to try to make the most of what limited hours and time that we have and what limited funds I have. Currently, I don't have a job at the moment, and that makes running this channel just a little harder. You know, when a new video game or unboxing opportunity comes along, I probably have to turn it down because I can't afford it. It's too difficult. But if you're a big YouTuber earning, 10K a month or even $5,000 a month, which is pretty good money, they can just dip into that money and just buy a whole bunch of games and unboxings, and they post that sort of stuff and their channel grows even bigger. It is that old policy of the bigger YouTubers get bigger and the smaller ones don't. And this was what the new YouTube policy is really about. So, and it's really just about the advertisers and that. It's not fun. It's hard being a YouTuber. It is very, very difficult. I find it harder than being a writer. And, I've written books and stories and that for 25 years. And dealing with another website is always a pain. That's why I like having my own website as a writer, because you get to control your own destiny and you're not subjected to these changes that YouTube does. It's very, very hard. It's very hard to deal with these changes and this the shifting of the goalposts all the time that it happens. And it's so annoying to deal with this sort of stuff. And there's such a lack of understanding from many, many other people. They just don't understand. And some people will say, oh, well, you can make it big one day. But it's a bit like telling someone that, if you keep buying the lottery tickets, you'll win the lottery. It's only a matter of time. For most people, it's not a matter of time. It's just a matter of numbers. Only a select few will do well, and the majority won't do so well. And it's hard. It's so difficult. That's all I can think about talking about this topic. I've ranted on for about 12, 13 minutes. If you could even relate to me or sort of understand what I'm going through, and many other small YouTubers who will have to deal with this, I have to double my numbers again. I was getting a quarter of those requirements, and I've gone to half in the last 3 months because I've had to really push hard on this channel to keep it growing and keep it going. And now I get told, Chris, you've got to double your numbers again in order just to meet the minimal requirements. And it's just like, fuck, I've already climbed the mountain so much, and now I have to do it all over again. That's it for me, and I shall see you next time on N10 Ninja News.